Welcome everyone to Mom Street USA. My name is Jackie, aka Wishes Mama, and I am joined by my wonderful co-host Kate, aka Disney Cicerone. And this evening we are talking all things Disneyland Food and Wine Festival. So we've focused a lot previously on festivals kind of happening on the other coast in Disney World. And so we thought maybe we should pay the West Coast a little bit more of a visit with their Food and Wine Festival.
Yeah, specifically the one is in California Adventure,
Yes,
but yes,
true.
Disneyland's. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I am going to get to go to this festival this year in April. So
Yay.
I'm like, yay, now I'll know exactly what to eat and what
Yeah.
to do. So, but I did go to it last year as well. So a lot of the dishes are the same or similar.
Yeah.
So I have a little bit of input there, and I'm very excited to get to talk about yummy food again.
Yay! All the food. I feel like that's all
the
we've
food.
talked about this year, and that's okay. It's all
It's
good.
okay. We did well. We had a different episode last episode,
Yeah.
so we'll
Very
mix
true.
it up every once in a while here.
Yes.
But, yeah.
So let's jump in. We've got a ton to talk about, and we're going to kind of give you guys an overview with as many details as we think are necessary, I guess, for you to be able to plan a trip to the Food and Wine Festival without literally reading you every item off of the menus. So.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind that this is not the end-all be-all list of everything that they have to offer. We just kind of went through and picked out some good options for you to look for if you are planning a trip.
Yeah, and I know Jackie does too a lot. I used Disney Food Blog as one of the biggest resources I used for this, so I will credit them. A lot of these photos do come from Disney Food Blog, and we'll make sure to link them in the podcast and things too for you guys. They're a great resource for any food reviews for things, all things Disney really. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice because I feel like I'm used to looking at their information for, of the pretzels, for Disney World stuff, but I've been pleasantly surprised looking at Disneyland stuff on there as well. They've got a ton of coverage for that stuff too. So if you're someone who was like me and was kind of more Disney World oriented, there's still a really good resource to have for Disneyland as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, so we jump on in. So
Yes.
I love that we get to kind of start with something that's actually very different from Epcot's Food and Wine Festival. So if you are used to going to Epcot, or that's what you know, Disneyland has something that I wish that Epcot had. And this is the Sip and Savor Pass. Like, I don't know why they don't have this in Disney World. I will never understand why they don't have
No,
it.
and it's like they have those little passports, but the passports are not the same. Like, it's almost
No.
like they tried to do it and then we're like, yeah, that's good enough.
Yeah. It was wild. So they have something called the Sip and Savor Pass that is $59 for 8 entitlement tabs. Now, that means not anything that's alcoholic. So it's food or non-alcoholic drink is what it has. And then they also have a version for the magic key holders that is discounted as well. And that one is $54. So you save a couple of dollars for that. And then you mentioned that there was...
Yeah, so when I was doing research, there was a note on Disney Food Blog that Disney Visa card holders also potentially get a discount. I couldn't find that anywhere on the official Disneyland website. But again, Disney Food Blog, fairly accurate with their information. So it's something worth asking if you're going and you are someone who has a Disney Visa card. I would ask and see what they say, because the impression that I got from reading what I saw was that they also get a discount as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I have heard that in the past. So I'm not a Visa card holder. So spoiler alert. So I don't know for sure. I am a magic key holder though.
Right.
And some of the fun things you do get as a key holder, one of them is you get a special lanyard for it that look like this year, red and blue with the 2023 and all the icons on it for all the kiosks. But you also, they have this kind of weird thing with the key holders. They're like, you have special like spots to eat in, and it's literally like a random spot that nobody goes in anyway, and then they just put a few tables in there with like a key holder like tablecloth, and nobody's like, you could go in there even if you weren't a key holder most of the time. There's nobody guarding it. So,
Right. It's not like they're checking your credentials as you walk through.
yeah, it's just kind of tables with a fun tablecloth and a little tucked away area. So I wouldn't call it like a huge perk, but you can, like, if you really want photos with your special tablecloth as a magic key holder, you could go there. That's all. We eat there because we can with your key holder. Like, I'll take all the perks I can get. So
Right? Yeah. Might as well. So,
Yeah, so they have something important to notice for this is some of these food items are $5 to $9. And there is a break even point if you get the sip and savor pass. So the break even point for the regular version without a discount is $6.75 per item. And the break even point, sorry, that's the Magic Key version, is $6.75 per item. And then the regular one is $7.39. So as you're planning to use your sip and savor pass, if something is a cheaper item, maybe consider just buying that outright and using this for the more expensive items. I'd say things that lean towards $8 or $9, then you're pretty safe that you're actually going to maybe save money getting the sip and savor pass. Otherwise, you're just wasting money.
right, absolutely. And again, remember, this does not include alcoholic drinks. So if you're planning out your budget and there's something on the menu that you're wanting to try that is an alcoholic drink, it is not included on that pass.
Right, correct. Lem said that the lack of tables was the biggest issue they had. And that's true. There is not that many tables there. We do the trash can thing, just like in Epcot. That's always an option. Sometimes down near some people don't always know that down where there is the show area for World of Color in the daytime and stuff, there's tables that are kind of scattered throughout there, usually in the daytime or before a show when a show's not happening. Sometimes they'll put tables down there if they're not having a big giant band there. So you can look for tables in that area as well. But there's also... You can find tables tucked in behind. A really great place to go is next to the Corn Dog Castle. There's a couple seats there. And then you can also just take your treats into anywhere, like the Pacific Wharf area or, into Cars Land. Anywhere you can find a table, you might have to go grab it. It's just a bummer because, if it's a small item, you just want to eat it and go.
Right. Like you got to walk that whole way just to stop and eat your couple little bites.
Yeah. So trash cans are always a good option, just saying.
Yes, absolutely. And it is good to mention that those sip and savor tabs may be used on multiple visits. So if you're someone who is going over multiple days, they don't all have to be used in the same day that you purchase it. So they can be used at any point, basically, throughout that whole festival, which I don't think we mentioned runs now through April 25th. So depending on your trips and what you're planning for, it is a shorter festival than if you're thinking like Disney World Epcot Food and Wine. It is a shorter festival than that, but it still gives you quite a few weeks to work with.
Yeah. And then a tip that we have used in the past that seems to maybe be changing this year, I've gotten different reports from everybody, is that usually what they say is you can buy all of your items for all the kiosks at one kiosk and then keep your receipt and then take it to each kiosk rather than waiting in line multiple times.
Yeah.
But I've heard recently that wasn't always an option, or that they were only doing it for like the food booths that are next to them, like so that they know if they run out of items, I think is because it's so spread out. So I would ask if it's an option, because waiting in line, sometimes these lines get very, very long, and it's really helpful to be able to only wait in line once for your food.
Yeah. Well, and I could see that possibly being an issue if you are someone who buys it in the morning but doesn't like redeem your last item until the end of the festival, where they may, for that day where they may have run out of something. That could probably become an issue. So I could see how maybe, depending on the day, maybe whether or not they honor that type of thing.
Yeah. And Lem says a weird rule is you have to rip the sip and savor tabs. I thought you always had to do that, so I don't know. That's kind of the rule, right? With the tab, you take the tabs off and you exchange them, right? I know.
Yeah. Well, and I know I was reading that you have to make sure that they're be honest. You have to make sure that they're attached when you go to the cast member as you rip it off. Like you can't just take the little tab with you to give to them to redeem an item. And maybe that's what Lem is talking about, making sure that the cast members are watching you tear it off.
Oh, yeah. That's what Lem says. He says you have to rip it in front of them. Yeah, that makes sense. I was just like, well, of course you have to rip them off. That's part of it.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
I got you, Lem. I got what you're
Jackie
talking
knows
about
what
here.
you're talking about. Yeah. I also made some notes about avoid eating at the booths during peak eating hours, which isn't always possible because you're hungry when you're hungry, right? And that is what it is. But if you can try to avoid, it's generally around lunch and dinner, 11:30 to 1 or 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. They have very long lines. And I would I would say that these are also less busy, like most of Disneyland, before 2 p.m. So before like schools and work start getting out in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So everything has less lines then. And it's also less busy on the weekdays versus the weekends. And that's just because, like we said before, Disneyland is a locals park. There's a lot of Magic Key holders, a lot of people that go after work or on the weekends. So you'll hit more crowds there almost every time in the evening. So if you want to really do the festival and not wait in as many lines, maybe do it for lunchtime. An earlier lunch would be a good idea.
Yeah, and I believe I was reading that the majority of the booths open at 10:30. So if you're planning accordingly to try to get stuff in beforehand, or planning on when you get to the park, keep that in mind, that not everything opens right away when the park opens.
Yeah, Lem says that the receipt thing worked while they were there, and they actually had signs for it. So it might just be somebody there. I just heard reports from like 3 different people. They're like, it only worked for the booths that were next to each other, and I was like, okay, so. But yeah, that's a really good tip. Just plan out what you want. You can get that festival passport, and then plan out what it is that you want out of that passport, and then get all of the things at the same time, or purchase them rather all at the same time, so that you can not have to wait in line multiple times.
Yeah. I feel like their passports are just so much cooler than Walt Disney World.
Disneyland, what do you want?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it speaks to the fact that the parks appeal to such a different crowd when you look at the two coasts. And we've talked about that in almost every episode where we've brought up the differences and similarities between the two parks. I feel like that, like you said, Disneyland is truly a locals park. And so they have to do more to continue to keep those locals coming back, honestly.
Yeah.
And World is such a tourist attraction that they can keep things the same year after year, and they're still going to have high attendance regardless.
Although they did call their Magic Key holders the unfavorable mix. So
well,
I don't know how much they're catering to key holders, but
was
sure they're
that
catering
one person that called them that, or was that everybody at Disneyland that called them that?
That is a good point. A very good point. One person who shall not be named.
I wasn't going to go there. That was all I wanted to point out. We can stop that conversation now.
Well, somebody asked me, this is not about that. Somebody asked me why the food was sometimes so much better in Disneyland. And my theory, this is just my personal theory, is that a lot of the people who go to Disney World are vacationers who are not counting their calories, who maybe are like, I'm going to splurge because I'm on vacation, who maybe like they don't mind maybe the fattier, more indulgent treats, or maybe even like I don't want to insult anybody, because I do like some food in Disney World, and there's some great food there. But I think that because they have to cater to locals in LA, and everybody's very health conscious, everybody wants very organic or vegetarian or vegan, or they have a lot more discerning palates that they have to please. And people expect that in Disneyland because of where it's located in LA. Yeah. Florida is a different ball game. So anyway, that's all I'll say about that. But I think that's my theory about why there's such a discrepancy between food in the two parks. So
it totally makes sense. I mean, that's right on par with what I think too, but who knows? We could be in the minority thinking that. You never know.
Yeah, I don't know. They have a whole other reason that we couldn't even think of. They're just let's make food as cheap as possible at Disney World. I don't know. They're run by two different entities within the company, so could be anything.
Right. Yeah, exactly. All right, so shall we jump into some food options,
let's do it.
offerings? Okay. So like we said at the beginning of the episode, these are just kind of some highlights of things that either Kate has tried, or we got some suggestions from Lemuel that we'll get to here in a little bit, or that we have found on Disney food blog. So lots of different options here. We're kind of going just straight down in alphabetical order because that was just the easiest way to kind of situate it. So the first booth that we're going to talk about is the Avocado Time. And here you can find the Impossible Nacho Mac and Cheese, which is a cheddar mac and cheese featuring seasoned Impossible ground beef. So if you don't know what that is, it's like non-meat version, essentially. So the Impossible ground beef, tomatoes, olives, jalapenos, and guacamole. And that is a $7 option at the Avocado Time booth.
Yeah, sorry, it took me a second to find
That's
that.
okay. I know, I was like, I can
oh.
keep talking while you're looking, because I know we've got a ton of photos and some videos and all sorts of stuff, so.
Yeah, excuse me. Everything that I've wow, excuse me. Everything that I've read about this, I haven't tried this specific one. I have tried a lot of this food, but not this one. They said that it was a very good portion size. So that was one of the big wins there, is that a lot of these you get tiny bits of food. But
Duck says that is my mortgage's worth of avocado.
a lot.
That's a lot. That is a healthy serving. That's what Kirk said. Yep, exactly. Yes, there are olives in there as well, Kirk.
Yeah.
So it's cheddar mac and cheese featuring seasoned Impossible ground beef, tomatoes, olives, jalapenos, and guacamole.
Yeah, but everything I read also said that the olives are pretty easy to pick out. So if you don't like olives, you can kind of eat around them. They're not like mixed into the mixture. So, and it's interesting that they started to trend a little bit more towards using this like Impossible meat alternative in a lot more of their foods, which is interesting to me.
Well, and we get that at some of the Epcot booths too. There's a whole booth for Flower and Garden that's all Impossible based.
So it's great for a lot of people who don't have meat in their diet. So
yeah,
that's a really nice option.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Todd says, "Mail me your olives." People are debating about whether or not they want the olives.
I want olives. I love olives. Just me. Yeah. I don't know.
Sorry. Duck says to Todd, "I'll Venmo you $5 to buy your own. Please do not eat mailed olives."
Oh, gross. I think we would all pitch in for that, quite frankly.
Okay, that was too good not to share. I had to. I couldn't help it.
Thanks, Dex, for that.
We appreciate you. Oh my gosh. Okay. Whew. Moving on, because we've got a ton of food to get to, and we love it. Keep the chats rolling. We love the interaction and the conversation. Keep it up. So let's move on to the Berry Patch. Now, do you guys call them booths or are they kiosks more? Because I feel like I saw both.
I call them booths, but people might call them kiosks. I call them booths.
Okay, cool.
I don't know.
I want to make sure I get my Disneyland lingo accurate.
I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, but I call them booths.
I'm going with it.
I'm from the West Coast, so I feel like I got a little bit of insight, but California is a little strange because we call it I-5, the freeway, they call it the 5, and I'm like, what are you talking about? That's not a thing.
It's not the same thing. It's
anyway,
not the same.
No offense to anybody who lives in California. I'm in Oregon, and you understand. We have a rivalry. We always will, so it's okay.
It's okay. It's expected.
It's expected.
Moving on to the Berry Patch booth, where you will find Kenny's Family Cheesecake, which is a cheesecake topped with a mixed berry compote, and that is $6.50 at that booth.
This one is new this year. They had like a strawberry something or other last year with lemon chantilly cream or something. So this is a new offering, and everything that I read about it actually was that it was pretty good. So, and then because they also have this, they say you could have your own little like berry taste off, because then we have the next one if you want to talk about that one.
Which is the blueberry buttermilk pie, which is also found at the same location. And it is a sweet custard-filled pie made in a homemade pie crust filled with fresh blueberries. I think that would be the one I would go with.
This is the one I got last year, and I really loved this one. It was perfect size. Some people were like, oh, it tastes like it's undercooked or something, but it's custard. It's a custard-based pie, so you have to think of it that way. You can't think of it as like, oh, it's going to be like solid. It's supposed to be a little bit creamy. And this actually is very good flavor. The crust was really good. Didn't taste like that kind of cheap frozen crust. It actually tasted homemade. So I really love this one. I think it's a solid option, and it's really cute. Like, who doesn't love a tiny little hand pie?
Also for $6.50, so either way, you're getting a good amount for your money there. Lemuel is saying that the cheesecake recipe is supposedly the president of Disneyland's family recipe.
All right. I didn't read that, so that's interesting. That makes sense.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
And why is the Kenny's family cheesecake? It's a family recipe.
That would make sense.
I love that.
Sense. So again, both of those options are $6.50 at the Berry Patch booth.
Yeah.
All right. Moving along to an option that Kate does not recommend.
But a lot of people do.
We always like it when Kate throws in these, and she puts in our notes in giant capital letters, do not recommend.
Yep.
So this is at the California Craft Brews booth, and it is the IPA sausage dog on a soft pretzel roll with onion, pepper, ooh, I'm going to say that word wrong, jardiniere.
I have to go look at it.
That. Cheddar cheese sauce and malt vinegar onion crunch.
Jardiniere. Yeah, I think that's right.
I was going with it. So again, this is one that Kate does not recommend. It is $7.25.
Okay, Lem doesn't like it either. He said,
okay.
"Oh my gosh, that thing was trash." See, so many people recommend this,
go.
and I honestly, this is one of the only things I've ever thrown away at Disney. There's been a couple.
Gosh.
This one, I literally, sorry, even looking at it right now reminds me of how it tasted, and I'm getting a little bit sick. It was something about the blend of those flavors is just like, I don't want to describe it in a way that'll make anybody sick. It's really gross. So I don't. It's and then it also like. It was, I mean, I'm okay with like cheese and bread in theory. I love cheese, but like something about the blend of this made it like not good. Wet bread and a really bad flavor. It was so gross.
Ooh, no, thank you. That doesn't.
Yeah. It might be something that has an acquired taste for certain people, but
or not.
I was with my brother and he tried it too and he hated it. So I mean, yeah. So it's a pass.
Yeah, take that for what you will. Before we move on to the next thing, Chelsea is asking, do you have to have the passport or can regular folks walk up and pay for the food one by one? You can. Yeah. So you can walk up to any booth if you just want to try one or two things. You are welcome to do that as well.
Yeah. You definitely can just buy whatever you feel like, or you can do that receipt trick like we talked about. You can do that just paying for the items without the Sip and Savor pass. It just saves you a little bit of money if, like we said, you get the more expensive items. So if you know the things that you want to try are in that more expensive category, it will save you money. And if you're going to get that many items, of course, you can get a Sip and Savor pass and then like split it with 2 or 3 friends, or family. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be like just one pass per person. It just is for food items.
Yeah, absolutely. But now also at the California Craft Brews booth, they do have beer flights there, which is probably a good way to get some tasting in at that booth. And the flights range from $17 to $17.50 depending on what you are getting. And there Kate is showing. So, and it's nice they have those little cards that tell you everything. That's super helpful.
Can you read it or is it flipped?
It's flipped for me. I can see the word writing, but I cannot tell you what it says.
Here we go.
It's still teeny tiny, but yes, you can at least.
It's the right way, yeah. So This one is Fun with Flavor Beer Flight. So this has, I won't read them all, but it has a mango IPA. It has a raspberry blonde from Delahunt Brewing Company. I don't know anything about beer, so don't tell Kirk. So this one's a little bit more like flavorful, like fruity drinks. And then they have one that is, this one's bright and balanced. I think they have 3. I don't think I have a picture of the third one. This one's bright and balanced. So it has Golden Road Brewing Strawberry Cart, Harlan Brewing Rumbler, Chapman Crafted Beer Zodiac Series, and La Bodega Brewing Company Buena Suerte. I think that's how you say that. So it looks like this. I know zero about any of that. But
I don't either.
I know Disney history really well, guys, but I don't got this.
Lemuel also says that he recommends the beer flight. So
yeah. So those are available there. And I mean, $17.50, that seems like a solid amount of beer for, for getting to try 4 of them. And they're not like tiny
little tasters. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Lem says they were all good. The green one is a melon. That people were asking about what the green one was in the chat over here. And then he said, there's also a mango one as well.
Yeah, this one's probably the one I would get because I like fruity things.
Same. If I were to try any of them, that's what I would do.
I'm really like a cider girl if I'm going to have anything. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Why am I not surprised that we're the same on that?
I know. I need to get you one of these pretzel jerseys. And we can
know.
match.
I when it came out, it was one of those moments where I was like, I don't need it. 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 Pretending that I don't need it, but
I know. Sarah is in my chat. Hi, Sarah. Sarah. Mouseketeers, who we mentioned in our previous episode. And she said the lanyards work so well. It's so much easier. And she asked, can you still order from any booth and pick up with receipt? We just kind of went over this a minute ago. But yes, Lemuel, Magic Bands and Trash Cans was just there. And he said, yes, you can. And there's even signs up saying that you can do that. So confirmed, yes, you can.
Yay. Yes. Perfect. All right, moving on to our next booth here. I love the name of this booth. It just makes me smile. So the next booth that we're getting to is called the Cluck-a-Doodle-Moo, which just, like I said, makes me smile. So we've got a couple things here that we're going to chat about. This first one is one of the picks that Lem, if you guys know Lemuel, Magic Bands and Trash Cans, he's on both sides of our chat, but in case you're listening to this podcast after the fact, you can find reviews of a lot of the food that he had last week at Disneyland during their Food and Wine Festival on his TikTok, so check him out at Magic Bands and Trash Cans. But this is the BBW Beef Brisket Slider, which is a Fiscalini Farmstead smoked cheddar with dill pickles on salt and pepper on brioche, and it's got generous portions of brisket. The meat is smoked cheddar flavor, salad, and pepper brioche bun is a perfect complement to it. And it is a $9 option at that booth. And I will read you. I love this. So I asked Lemuel for some of his picks, and he sent me these lovely reviews. So I'm going to read them to you because I just think they're so wonderful. So his review, in quotes, is good old barbecue brisket slider, generous portions of meat. The sauce is tangy and sweet and has a good balance between meat, sauce, cheese, and pickles. Mine also came with potato fries on it, which aren't listed on the passport and menu. But the crunch did add a nice textural contrast to the softness of the rest of the other ingredients.
I think that's it.
Oh, yep, there we go.
Yeah. It looks really good.
Yes.
I don't think I tried this one when I was there, and now I wish I had it instead of that awful IPA dog thing. So, thanks, Lem, for sharing those videos with us. Appreciate that.
Yes. Yes, so the ones that I have of his are the videos that I put on there. We've got so much stuff on our shared drive when we do all these episodes with all these photos that it's like, so many pictures.
I know. That's why I'm like, you see me hunting over here. I'm like, which photo is it? Which photo is it? Because I didn't even label mine because I'm silly and should have done that. So it's like a little hunt.
I tried to label mine the best I could, but it only shows you that much of the caption whenever you pull it up on the Google Drive. So it's like,
a little behind the scenes struggle over here. It's fine. We're good.
So that is one option at the Cluck-a-Doodle-Moo booth. The other option that we want to mention are they also have smoked honey habanero chicken wings. And those are chicken wings tossed in honey habanero seasoning. They have a crispy outside with a tender and moist inside with a hint of lime. And those are $8.50.
Yeah, those look way better than, they had another one last year that actually were not very good that I wouldn't recommend. So I think they replaced them with this recipe, and this looks way better because the ones last year were very dry and overcooked, and I wouldn't have recommended them. But so I looked into this and I was like, how were they this year? And they said, they're very tender and moist inside, and they have a hint of lime, and they're great. So give them a shot if you like that kind of flavor. I think that that's a pretty good portion too, because there's several of them. It's not just one or two. Right. So you can have what looks like 4. It's like a whole thing full. Anytime you see that whole container full, it's always a good portion.
Sign. Exactly. Lemuel is disagreeing at the description for the wings. He is saying that they were dry when he had them. So
see, okay, so maybe it's like a hit or miss that somebody got it on a good day. I would believe that. Some of those, they just sit for a while and then they get really dried out. So I think it's if you get it when it's just right. Yep, right out of the kitchen, they'll be great. And if you don't, you don't. So you get to roll the dice with that one. It's a little gambling food.
Are you feeling lucky?
Oh my goodness.
So decide whether or not you want to spend, one of your little tabs on that, or pay $9, or no, sorry, not nine, $8.50. I was looking at the wrong one.
Almost $9.
Yeah,
Round
almost
up,
nine,
it's $9.
$8.50 for those as well. Okay, perfect. Let's move on. Like I said, we're kind of just hitting some highlights here. Not covering everything. If you guys want the full menus, they are available on the Disneyland website and on their app as well. So you can check those out there.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Yep.
When it comes to chicken wings, may the odds be ever in your favor.
That sounds about right. That's
Yep.
fine. Let's move on to something that hopefully is not as dry or controversial. Let's move on to the Delish booth. I'm trying to segue here, Kate. It's not working very well.
You got this.
So let's move on to the Delish booth, which has several offerings that we want to talk about. The first being the beef and barley poutine, which is potato bites with braised beef short rib, cheese curds, stout gravy, and lager micro sponge. And that is $9 at the Delish booth.
Yeah, I haven't actually tried this myself. I went off of reviews for this one. It is a very good portion size, so it's definitely, that it has it in its favor. I'm not sure I love the idea of poutine, but I love that it's like tater tots, essentially. That's what it is. So,
right. But they're potato bites here. We've talked about on other episodes what
potato
they call
barrels.
Are they potato barrels? Are they tater tots? These are potato bites. So, slightly different.
Yeah. So people have recommended them. I would say it's like one of the best eats at the festival, but it's a good portion size. So if you're just looking for like a lot of bang for your buck, that would be a good one. So.
Yep. And also at that booth, they have one of the alcoholic offerings that we have on our list is the apricot tequila cocktail, which is,
I think it's this one.
It's so pretty. It is reposado. I'm so bad with this. I even looked through all of this, was like, I'm going to be better with pronunciation tonight. Reposado tequila, Aperol, apricot puree, coconut cream, and orange and lime juices. Garnished with a lime wheel.
I think I got the right one. I got the lime wheel. So okay, so yeah, this one is a very, very strong drink. So be warned. Sometimes you expect Disney drinks to be kind of on the lighter side. That is usually true, but not with this one. It's very, very strong. So, just take that into account. But it does have these really great tropical flavors. So if you're looking for a little tropical escape in the parks, I think this is your winner.
Yeah. I always hesitate whenever I see that there's puree in drinks like that. I don't know. I just feel like, because I'm so texture oriented.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, every time I see that, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that.
I think you'd have to think of it almost like a smoothie with alcohol in it,
Right.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yes.
Yeah.
So both of those options are at the Delish booth. The cocktail is $15. And again, remember that your pass, if you have the Sip and Savor pass, they don't count for the alcoholic beverages. So that would be something you would pay out of pocket.
Right. Which makes sense. It's $17.
Yeah.
That would take probably like 2 tabs.
Right.
If they did that. But they don't do that. But I just say.
Right. That would be an interesting option.
Mm-hmm. I know. I don't know.
I don't know if that would be good or bad.
I don't know. So,
Kate says no.
No. I don't know. The next, should we move on to the next booth? Because this one I'm really excited about. I'm like, let's go.
We have a bunch on this next one.
Because it's one of my favorites. And I think it is a festival favorite almost every year. So I'll let you talk. I'll pull up the things.
So this is at the Garlic Kissed booth. And this is the carbonara garlic mac and cheese with Nuisque's peppered bacon on it. And that is $8.50. And it looks very good.
This one was one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. So if you're a mac and cheese fan, just don't hesitate. Just get this one.
Just do it.
It's really good. You won't be disappointed. It's really good.
Yeah, that looks really good. So I think this booth is one that has a lot of good offerings for it for sure. Because the next one also sounds very good, which is the grilled top sirloin with roasted garlic Gruyere, smashed potatoes, and black garlic chimichurri. Chimichurri, sorry, I said that wrong. Chimichurri. Yes, and that is $9.
Yeah, and this one, the meat can be a little bit overcooked sometimes on this one. Like a lot of these festival foods, when they're mass producing them, that's pretty common. So this is I did hear this is a little bit spicy this year versus previous years. It maybe wasn't quite as much. So just a little forewarning if you're not into spicy foods, maybe get the mac and cheese instead of this one.
Yeah.
But Lem says this was good. Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Victoria says, so we all flying to Cali on the same day now.
Let's all go. Come on.
Yeah.
That'd be so fun.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's talk about a couple drink options that they have at this booth as well. The first being the Raspberry Limoncello Aid, which is limoncello, grapefruit liqueur, house-made mint syrup, raspberry syrup, and lemon juice, garnished with a white orchid. Fancy.
Okay. I got the orchid. I was like, which one is it? The one with the orchid.
So that is the Raspberry Limoncello Aid that is available for $16 at that booth.
Mm-hmm. That one looks really good.
Yeah. And it's so cute. The little flower on the top. So fancy.
I'm not going to lie. I don't often get the alcoholic drinks. Not only because I'm not a huge drinker, but I just can't afford $17 for a drink.
Yeah.
I have to feed my family. So just saying.
I don't blame you.
Duck says she's selling her kidney for that one. Okay. I probably have to too. So
good luck with that.
We'll be kidneyless together. It'll be great.
The other option that they have that we want to point out is the guava lychee mule that they have there as well, which is vodka, guava nectar, ginger and lychee syrups, lemon juice topped with guava and grapefruit hard cider, garnished with a lemon wheel for $17.
That one looks good too.
Yeah. Lem is saying on my side, the drinks are $17, but they are huge. So,
yeah, they're like regular size
like
drinks,
full size cups, not like small size cups.
Yeah.
So that's at least helpful if you're looking to budget for that or looking to split it or share it. Even if you ask for a second cup, I wonder if they'd probably give it to you if you really asked them to.
Yeah, they might.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never asked, so it doesn't hurt to ask.
Right. Exactly.
Doug says she'll just be they'll just be kidneyless for this drinks. I can't say it. Kidneyless for these drinks. Thanks, Dux. It's fun.
There you go. Yep. And Lem confirms that all the drinks that they had were good. So there you go.
There you go. So that one's a garlic kissed.
Yes.
It's a good booth.
Yeah, so if you want either of those, or you want those potatoes with the grilled top sirloin, or the mac and cheese, all at that same booth.
All right. Should we go on to the next one? The next one's...
Allie Beth says, ask for a cup of water, dump the water, boom, drink cup.
Nice.
That's one way to do it, I guess.
Doug says, no, you paid $17 for this drink and cannot have a second cup. Disney's Lex Luthor, probably.
Love it. Love it.
Well,
Oh my gosh.
You never know these days.
Right. So true. Lem is saying, pro tip for garlic kissed, order the food elsewhere. That booth will get slammed. So using that method like we've talked about, ordering those options somewhere else and then just picking them up at the booth is the way to go.
Yeah. And I found don't order at the first booth you come into when you go into the festival. There's a kiosk to buy your Sip and Savor pass, and then there's another, I can't remember which one it is. There's another booth that's right around the corner from it, and that line is always long because people are like, oh, I'll just stop here and buy everything and then go walk and get it. I was like, no, go find a booth with a very short line because there's a lot of them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So let's keep on trucking through. Let's move on to the Golden Dreams booth, which has an interesting option, which I feel like, which is the elote paleta.
Yeah,
See, I'm
not sure.
yeah. Yes, that.
I'm with you.
It is a sweet corn paleta with a parm crema, chili lime seasoning, corn crunch, and cilantro. So it is an ice cream with a sweet and creamy flavor and texture, and it has a tahine and freeze dried corn topping on the top of it.
Yeah, they like their tahine in Disneyland. Like, it's everywhere. You can get packets of it. It's sitting around.
Interesting.
Yeah, which makes sense for where it's located, but it's just interesting that they don't have that in Florida so much. But
yeah, so that is a $6 option at that Golden Dreams booth. So yes, basically it's a type of ice cream. Everyone in here is like, that looks interesting.
Lem says this was the most disgusting thing Ashley and I have ever tasted. So, is it worse than the IPA hot dog? I haven't tried this one. It didn't appeal to me. I was not going to waste money on it myself. So
yeah, yeah. I feel like it's one of those things that either you will absolutely love, or you're like, nope, not trying it, or nope, never again. Like,
Lem says it tasted like a stick of salted butter with corn and tahine, and it's worse than the IPA hot dog. Oh gosh.
Then I won't be getting it ever. Tread lightly, unless this looks like all of your favorite things rolled into one.
Like, I just really love corn ice cream. It's my thing.
It's my thing.
It's corn.
Something like that. And it's only $6, so...
I mean, $6 is not that... I wouldn't use a tab for that. Don't use a tab for it. If you want to try it as an experiment, don't use a tab for it.
An experiment.
It's corn. Okay.
Moving right
There's
along.
a lot of people that recommend it, though, so it's an interesting thing. It must be a love or hate it kind of thing. And I will mention, too, that there's a lot of drinks that I didn't include on this list that there was probably like 6 of them that people said tasted like Granny's perfume. And I was like, so it's either like lavender or floral or rose. Like, they had like the scents in there, the flavors. So I didn't include those. So if it has any of those flavors in it, just be cautious that you may love it. You may also think it tastes like grandma's perfume. So
keep that in mind as you choose. Okay, so moving along from the corn ice cream, let's talk about a little bit of a different offering. This is one that Lem sent to us to include in the show. And this offering is actually a seasonal offering for food and wine at one of the quick service locations. So this can be found at the Hollywood Lounge. And it is the Dragon Fruit Soju Mule. So that'll be one of the videos, Kate, if you can figure out which one it is.
I think it's this one.
Perfect. So it is soju, dragon fruit syrup, lime juice, and ginger ale garnished in Dole dragon fruit. And I will, again, like I said, Lemuel sent in some lovely reviews. Ashley is in here saying that was my fave. Okay. So here is, quote unquote, word for word, Lemuel's review. He said it's extremely refreshing and tasty, a great balance of flavors with a smooth finish, a great mixture of dragon fruit and ginger ale flavor. It tastes like the best soda, but instead of a bite, you get a smooth finish with the soju. And he gave it a 9.5 out of 10.
Wow, that's high. Okay.
Yes.
That's
so
awesome.
that is an offering. And again, it's not, they claim on the menu that it's a seasonal offering. So could be there for just food and wine. I couldn't really get a good...
It probably is. That's usually what that means. Yeah.
Yes. So they didn't call it officially a food and wine option, but it was considered a seasonal option on that quick service menu.
They change out restaurant menus like they change clothes in Disneyland. Like, it's just like, here today, gone tomorrow. Yeah. So if you see something you like, go get it fast because it might not be there in a month.
Yeah, like, and really. That is $16 at the Hollywood Lounge.
That looks great. So, thanks for that recommendation, Lynn.
Yeah, if you're looking for that, it might not be here for long. So go check it out.
All right. I'm over here trying to find like the next one.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm hunting.
Moving on to something, and now for something completely different. Let's move on to the I Heart Artichokes booth. Back over in the festival booth land over here. They have an artichoke pizzetta.
Pizzetta. Yeah.
Pizzetta. Look how it's just so cute on that
It is
plate.
cute.
Like it's just tiny and cute. And it is an artichoke and roasted garlic cream cheese with sun-dried tomatoes, pickled onions, and lemon olive oil drizzled microgreens. And it is $7.25.
Yeah, this one was like a fairly big portion. Someone that I read, they said that even like the olive oil that was on there was so good that they like broke off pieces to dip in the olive oil that was just like on the plate because that's how good it was.
Good it was.
So
all fresh made.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Just
it got really high
it's
marks.
A lemon olive oil. So
yeah. Sounds good to me. I think
that
lemon
sounds
olive
good.
oil.
Yeah. So again, that is $7.25, the artichoke pizzetta at the I Heart Artichokes booth.
And then the next one is one of my absolute favorites of the festival. At least it was last year. Always take that with a grain of salt, but from what I hear, it's good this year too. If you want to.
So this is the glazed barbecue pork belly from the LA Style booth, and it is barbecue pork served with furikake togarashi. I even practiced this one. Togarashi mac salad. There we go. Apologies.
Yeah.
So again, let me try that again. Barbecue pork served with furikake togarashi mac salad. There we go. And it is $9.
Yeah, I really loved this one last year. I thought it was a really good portion, even though it's $9. It's kind of up there in price. I think it's a pretty good portion, and the pork belly was really crispy and cooked well. I didn't feel like it was overdone or anything, and I really loved the salad that came with it. And it comes with a flower, guys. Anything comes with a flower. Like, I'm there for it.
Right?
Just
It's
saying.
so pretty.
I don't know if you can eat the flower. That's a good question. I don't know if the flower is edible. Maybe?
I don't know. It doesn't tell me what type of flour it is on my description, so I don't know.
I will tell you, I don't know. Yeah, we don't know, so I won't tell you to eat the flower. Please do your research and ask. Lem says that the artichoke and LA Style booths have really long lines, so order elsewhere, and I agree with that. That's 100% true. And last year, I need to look at the festival map, but last year this LA Style booth was like way over near like Monsters Inc. ride. Like, it's not anywhere near the other ones, so you have to go. So it was Figment.
I feel like you're knocking into Figment over there. It's like, what was that?
Lem says you can eat the flower. Thanks, Lem.
Okay. Yeah,
but anyway,
Rick is saying it's edible, and Ashley says it's non-toxic, so technically you could eat it.
Okay, so you probably won't die if you eat it. Probably. That's about as good advice as we can give you.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, so if you look at we didn't talk about this yet, but if you look at the festival map, you'll see that everything's spread out pretty far. All the little numbers that are on there are the festival booths. And so you have to hunt them down sometimes to get to whichever one. Some of them are way off on this side by the other side of where you watch World of Color, and some of them are all the way down in like and like 1 and 2 over here. That's over near the Monsters Inc. ride. So if you can't find it, like, I get a festival map, because otherwise you'll be hunting for them. You're like, I swear I just saw that, and it's like way off in the other part of the park. So
good to know.
Yeah,
there you go. So yeah, plan accordingly. If you're doing the trick where you're buying multiple things at one booth, you may be walking in between, which may be good or bad depending on what you're eating and how much and all that kind of stuff. So keep that in mind as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we move on to a sweet option?
Let's do it.
Okay. This was another one that Lemuel sent in, and Kate already had this on our list as well. So this, I think, is a favorite of a lot of people. And that is the Snickers Caramel Peanut Milk Chocolate Mickey Macaron, which just is so pretty.
It's so good. It's big, though.
Yeah.
It's big.
Yep. And so this is at the Nuts About Cheese booth, and it is $6.75. It is a chocolate Mickey macaron filled with caramel ganache and Snickers bar pieces. Yeah,
it's not a small one, and we made the mistake of getting this like at the end of our feast, and we did not have enough room to finish it because it was that big. It is very, very sweet. So be warned, it's very, very sugary, but I think it's really well made personally. And wait, we have a video of that too, right?
Yes, and we have Lemuel's review that I'd like to
his
share.
thoughts.
So,
I would love to hear Lem's thoughts.
Yes.
Okay.
So Lemuel said it is a huge portion size, and then he put in parentheses, share this one, like eating the best Snickers bar you've ever had with the textures of a macaron. The shell is perfectly wafery with a smooth cream in the middle. 8.5 out of 10.
It is big. That's even bigger than last year. That looks gigantic. They're like, what do we do this year to make us bigger and better in this festival? Just make the food bigger. We'd all be on board for that, as long as they don't make the price bigger.
Right,
We're good.
Exactly. And yes, it is. Kirk asked why it's at the cheese booth. The booth is called Nuts About Cheese, so it's both.
Nuts About Cheese. Yes.
Ashley, I would not do that to you. Lemuel sent me another video that was very unflattering of his lovely wife that I was not going to put on our show.
So you didn't put it in the drive, right? Somehow
No, I did not.
It? Okay. Thank you for being the gatekeeper of the.
You're welcome,
protecting Ashley. I haven't watched these videos yet, so I'm like, oh no.
Saying I debated only sending that video.
Oh,
I would just, goodness gracious. I'm not getting in the middle of this any more than I already am.
We are all disappointed, Lem. We are all disappointed.
Ashley, he told me to watch to see it happen, and I'm like, no, I would not do that to you. We had a picture anyway, so if he had said that, I would not have done that to you.
Kirk has like a super unflattering video of me and him talking about something that he just has in his archives, and I'm like, please don't post that. I look terrible.
That's what we get, I guess, for putting ourselves on live streams and TikTok. And
yes, that's real. It's fine.
Yep.
It's fine.
Yep. So that is $6.75 at that booth. But there is another option at that booth that we want to talk about as well, which is just the crackers and cheese that they have there. And it is house-made herb crackers with white cheddar fromage blanc, spicy salami spread, and cherry jam. And it is good, but Kate wrote it's kind of expensive for what you get because it is $8 for that.
Yeah, and it's a little hard to eat walking around because it is kind of messy and it's not an easy thing to share. Like you can't really cut it without everything kind of going everywhere. Mm-hmm. So, take that with a grain of salt. But like I'm also someone who loves cheese, like loves cheese. So I would eat virtually anything with cheese on it. But the crackers themselves, the homemade crackers, are really good. They have like rosemary in them. Mm-hmm. So I think they did a really good job putting this one together. I don't know if it's worth $8, but it is a really good treat. So
yeah, thinking about some of the other options that we've had that have been less than $8, maybe not.
Yeah. So sorry, Kirk is saying real pants for real boy and being weird.
Weird.
He
what
teased
else is
it.
New. It's fine.
Why are you telling people about this, Kirk? Like, I guess I'm telling people, so never mind. Just as long as you don't show people. You can tell them all you want. It's fine.
There you go. So let's move on then, since we finished up at that booth.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's all good.
Oh,
what did we say? Like 2 weeks ago we coined it's our show. We can do what we want. It's
whatever
fine.
we feel like.
Exactly.
Yep, that's right.
Exactly. Exactly. It's perfect. Let's move on to another one of Lemuel's choices that he sent in. This is another one that is a seasonal offering. I should say seasonal offering with the quotes at a quick service location, and that is at the Studio Catering Co. And that is the Korean fried chicken sliders.
I think it's this one.
They are Korean fried chicken topped with gochujang sauce. We're going to go with that. Kimchi, coleslaw, and pickled onions served on sweet Hawaiian bread. And that is $11.49.
That looks really good.
Yeah. And so Lemuel's review is, it is a properly double fried chicken slider with a generous amount of sauce, has a delightful crunch, which contrasts perfectly with the sweet Hawaiian roll. And he gave it a 9 out of 10.
Wow. That's high marks.
Yeah.
See, Food's good in Disneyland. Mm-hmm. Just saying.
Yeah, Ashley says she just wishes that it was bigger. So, but it was very, very good.
I want to know what Lem and Ashley both thought about the bao buns and the lumpia that's over in Tropical Hideaway that we talked about in a previous episode. So I want to know that.
Kirk, the cost on one of those is $11.49. I feel like it's hard to tell kind of in the picture and the video how big it is.
That's a lot.
But
that's a lot for that tiny little thing. Gosh.
yeah.
Okay.
And Lem says you can order it as an as a full entree as well, which is 2 full-sized sandwiches. And that may be the cost that I found. I had a hard time finding. I had a hard time finding some of the seasonal offering prices on stuff. So that could be very well true that was the entree price.
Fancy pants Disney Cali pricing.
Or that.
It sounds like that would be probably the full entree if I had to guess. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, because I was just looking up menus, like full menus through the app and stuff like that. So that was the price I found. But yeah, it definitely could be for 2. So not sure the price for 1 because I couldn't find it. So that's the only price I found. There you go. That's what I got for you. But yes, Lem gave it a 9 out of 10. So.
All right. Should we move on? Keep going.
Okay. Sorry, I was just making sure that Lem was saying, yeah, that for the entree. Okay.
Okay.
It's not bad for 2. Yes, exactly. Perfect. Okay. Moving along, let's go to the Peppers Caliente. I feel like I have to enunciate it that way because it's hyphenated booth, and the Chile Relleno empanada. I'm going to go with that pronunciation. It is an empanada with arbol pepper salsa featuring it's cacique Oaxaca, which I believe is the
you're doing this and not me.
I literally, okay, I had so many issues with pronunciations before that I've started looking things up. And cotija cheeses. So it's a type of cheese. I did it. And that is $8.50 at that booth. My Mexican Spanish is as good as Kirk's French. Listen, I did not take any Spanish, so I'm trying my best, okay? And I apologize.
French. I speak French.
I took like a year and a half of French, so I got nothing.
Yeah, that's funny that we both took French. We're like the same people sometimes.
It's okay. I'm good with it. It's fine.
Oh gosh.
So yes, that is the see now I'm like empanada at the Peppers Caliente booth.
I've heard that last year this was like a huge hit. Like people loved this last year. I don't know if it's the same this year. Every once in a while, something that was great a previous year will not be good in like the next year. This because they shift ingredients or cooking method or whatever. So, but everything I've heard so far, that people really like this one. So,
I appreciate everyone helping me out with my pronunciations and cheering me on in my chat. Just want to throw that out there. Thank you.
We're trying.
Yep. And I literally earlier sat with my husband. I was like, I'm going to look these up and make sure I know how to say them. I'm doing it. It's fine.
I like that you have notes in here for yourself. I think that's great. I've done that for Distery all the time, so it's great.
I'm trying. Okay, that's what I thought, Nai, that the 2 L's sound like a J. Okay, so, I'm doing my best, you guys. I'm doing my best.
Should we go on to our next booth?
Let's talk about the Uncork California booth. And let's talk about there. They have the California Artisan Cheese Selection. Ooh. Which is a Marin French Cheese Co. Jalapeno Triple Cream Brie, a Fiscalini Farmstead Purple Moon Cheddar, and Craft Beer Cheddar.
With obviously some crackers and grapes. And I think those are apricots, dried apricots, and then some candied pecans as well. So be aware that there's obviously nuts involved in this. So if you have a nut allergy, maybe skip this one. But I'm not like a huge fan of these crackers because I did get this when I was there. I'm like, the crackers are like pre-packaged table crackers. Like they could have done some sort of great something with it that would have really like upped the game for this, but the cheeses are really good. So for the cheeses alone, if you're a big cheese person, this one is a solid bet. I don't
and it is
actually go ahead.
Sorry, it is $8.50 at the Uncork, California booth.
Yeah, and I kind of a cheese snob, and I prefer Oregon cheeses for obvious reasons, but I do like these cheeses, so yeah, it's a good bet.
I also feel like I'm kind of a cheese snob because I grew up near Amish country, so I get Amish cheese. So like, I get that.
Well, you're kind of near Wisconsin too, right? Like you're kind of in that region-ish.
Yes, ish, kind of, sort of.
You're closer than I am.
Yes, I am closer than you are.
Hey, Kirk says classic Kate a snob never.
Never.
Not a snob.
No.
I'm the upstream society, right?
So that is the last festival offering that we have, but I do have a bonus food suggestion from Lem. This was on his list of his favorite things that they tried when they went to Disneyland. So I did just want to share it briefly. And again, this is something that, from what I could tell on the menu, is a staple on their menu and not something that's changing. And this is at the Paradise Garden Grill quick service. And that is the bulgogi fried rice. And it has kimchi, egg, pickled cucumbers, green onions, and sesame seeds on it. And it is $14.49. So again, this is at the Paradise Garden Grill. And Lemuel's review is overall a great kimchi fried rice. Kimchi is the most predominant flavor, but they use good quality kimchi. The bulgogi is tender and well seasoned, but the kimchi is the real star of the show. And the bulgogi makes for a more elevated substitute compared to the usual Spam or diced ham. And that is an 8 out of 10 from him. So again, that is an entree option for $14.49 at the quick service restaurant.
Kirk says, what's with all the Korean? They get hosed at all their festivals. It's true. They need this food. Yeah, I tell you, Disneyland, got it. Lots of great food going on.
Okay, so it looks like for the festival, they have a smaller portion that they offer. Again, some of that stuff was hard to find at the quick services through like the websites. So that $14.49 is the full entree price again. But a
lot of those like restaurants, they'll have like the full meal version, and then they'll have like the tasting portion. And so the tasting portion you can use your tabs for your sip and savor pass, but not for obviously the full meal. So
yeah. Nice.
Yep.
Okay. So that kind of is in a nutshell, the food offerings. Again, not the end all be all, not everything that they have to offer, but some highlights, some different things that you guys may be interested in trying. But now we're going to kind of shift and talk about some of the extra things that they offer during their food and wine. So if a lot of you are familiar with the different festivals, especially the Epcot festivals, they always have a bunch of other stuff happening along with the food during those festivals. So California Adventure is the same way. So a couple different things that they have to offer. They do have culinary demonstrations. So that's something that we get at some of the festivals in Disney World as well. Those are held on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And they are on the Hollywood backlot stage in Hollywoodland. And they are at 3:30 and 4:45, depending on the day and what the show is going to be for that day. So those are something that you can stop by and watch and see as you're walking around. They also have live music. They will have local acts that play in the area near the World of Color viewing area. So I know Kate was talking about that space earlier with looking for tables in that area. But they
Lem
do also
said he couldn't find any there. So
okay.
They had them last year.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have them this year.
Right. Hard to say. But they do have different show times for their typically 3:15, 4:15, 5:45 and 6:45. They have different live music that plays in that area as well.
Yeah.
And then a couple different things for the family and for kiddos if you are visiting the festival with them. They do have Chef Goofy that does a meet and greet, and I just think he's just Look at how cute. I just love, like, they have a whole little backdrop for him, which is just so
I
lovely.
know. With, like pizza hanging off of it.
Yeah, I know. It's so great. That's why I was like, I have to put some of these pictures in here because they're
They're
just
really
so great.
adorable.
So thank you again to Disney Food Blog for like all of our pictures, because that's where these pictures came from as well, was one of their reviews of the whole festival. So he meets near the Studio Catering Co. Kind of right along that same space near World of Color area, if I'm thinking correctly, kind of down the way a little bit.
I've also seen them meet near like Hollywoodland. Sometimes they have character meet and greets back there where they have the culinary demonstrations, so you can check back
Gotcha.
in that area as well.
Gotcha. So another really cool thing that they started, I believe, last year at the Food and Wine Festival is Alice's Wonderland Bakery Unbirthday Party, which I had seen some TikToks on this, so I'm glad that I had seen those TikToks. Shout out to Victoria, who sent me one of those, because I was like, this is one of the cutest things I've ever seen. So it's a little show for the kiddos, and if you arrive early, you can get your kiddos put on the list essentially, and get in early to make sure that your kiddo during the show can decorate a sweet treat during the experience. So they get like little piping bags of frosting and stuff that they can do. They also have like gluten-free options for kiddos there as well. So if your kiddo has that type of a dietary need, and it is located at the Hollywood Backlot Stage in Hollywoodland. And then Minnie comes out on the stage at the end to say hello, and it's just so cute. And they do that at 105, 215, and 315. So only those showings during the day. But you've got the little character. I think the character who like leads it, his name is like Rolly Pin, which I think is just just classic.
Rolly Pin.
So that is something that they have for the kiddos. I'm a very tall child. Does that count? I don't know, Duck. I don't know if they limit it or not. I'm not sure. And Kirk, as far as I could find, there was no charge for it. It was just an offering that they had.
Yeah.
If I
Kind of
come
like
across,
Jedi Training Academy was. It's just like you can just
yeah.
have to be in
But
the right
it's
place at the
just
right time.
So
to
yeah, and that's
participate.
what a lot of what I was seeing online was saying, like, you really need to go and line up outside like a half hour before the show time to make sure that, because they only have a limited amount of supplies that they'll do for each show. So if that's something that you really want your kiddo to do, or your kiddo is like needs to do on your trip, I would get there early.
And I also saw something that said if it's raining, they might do like the show, but they won't do the decorating part because it's
okay.
raining, in which case they will give you like a little packet to like take home, and the kids can do it like later, which I think is really fun.
That's great.
So,
It's great that they have that option so that your kiddo is not like totally devastated if it's raining outside.
yeah.
Yeah. Nice. So then another fun thing that you can do with your kiddos is they have the Jammin' Chefs, which is a little show with lots of fun friends. I was excited to see how many friends were in the photos that I found on it. And that is a performance similar to, from what I could tell, similar to, like we've got the Jammers at Epcot. It's that, but, chef style kind of. So you can see it's like Chippendale, Clarabelle, Daisy, I think was in, I think there's another photo that I have there.
I've got another
But there are tons and tons of characters in that show. Super fun. And they've got lots of show times. It is held in the Paradise Gardens Park, which is outside the Little Mermaid area, kind of near that World of Color viewing area again, in that open space right there. And they do it at 10:30, 11:30, 12:45, 1:45, 2:45, and 3:45. So lots of chances to catch that little show if that's something that you're looking forward to. And I think it looks adorable.
And it's a great one for, especially now as it's busy with spring break and even heading into Easter, the crowds can get pretty crazy around this time of year. So these things are really a fun thing to do that doesn't involve waiting in line for a really long time. Sometimes you guys have to find maybe a shady spot, or right now just a place out of the rain because it keeps raining. But but it is a nice thing to do with kids that doesn't involve a lot of waiting in line. So
yeah, absolutely. So a couple other options of things that they have in California Adventure. Just a quick mention in case people didn't know that during the festival they did bring back the Soarin' over California. So if you're familiar with the original Soarin', that is back for the duration of the festival that you can enjoy if you so choose to partake.
I love soaring over California, and it is true that it looks like super pixelated if you're used to soaring around the world because it's really old, guys.
Old.
Like we have to understand it's old now, and it's okay that it's old. We just have to appreciate it for what it is. It's vintage.
And the scents and just there is something so nostalgic about that version, I feel like.
Yeah, and it has the smell of going over the orange grove, so you get the orange smell, and you have the golf ball that has the Mickey on it. Like, so when they hit it towards you, there's a hidden Mickey on the golf ball. That was one of the only like great ideas that came from Paul Pressler, who was like president of the parks at the time, when BCA opened. And he was not well loved among the Imagineers. He was actually kind of like, he put the kibosh on a lot of projects. He was all about like budget and numbers, and he was not a creative person, but he was very proud that he put that Mickey on that golf ball. So
good for him.
Paul Pressler's Mickey. No, I like it. I don't like it just for the orange smell. Lem, I love this. See, you have to understand that this is nostalgic. This is nostalgic for people who grew up with this, you know. There's a lot of us who I was a little bit older when this park opened, but a lot of people this was like their childhood. And so it's nostalgic. It's not just the orange smell. It's nostalgia.
Yeah. The orange smell is just a nice bonus because it's a lovely part
of the pine
whole
smell. The pine smell. It's all that's California in a show. So, anyway. I'm done.
Anyway. So let's talk briefly just about a few of the bookable experiences that they have. So if you're someone who is going to the festival and you're wanting kind of some of these, what I would call more high-end experiences throughout the festival, they have 3 different offerings that you can book. And these are booked with a separate ticket. So the first one is the Cathay Circle winemaker receptions, which these have actually sold out for.
Carthay. It's Carthay Circle.
It is Carthay Circle. I was not paying attention. There we go. Sorry.
I was like, that doesn't look right.
I was like, no. And after I said it, I was like,
no. Oh, and you know Carthay Circle.
I know. Try again. Okay. So the Carthay Circle winemaker receptions, and again, like I said, these are sold out for the year. But the description is these unforgettable events highlight wines from different California. I can't type apparently. Vineyards and include carefully selected menus to enhance the flavor of wine. Guest presenters from each winery will provide background and tasting notes. So it's basically like a personal session with the presenters from the vineyards, which is a really neat experience to have if you choose to have that.
Especially if you're from places that aren't near wine, usually. Like I'm literally surrounded by vineyards all the time here where I live. Yeah. But if you're traveling from other places and you don't usually get to do that, that's a really fun experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sold out.
Yeah, and I realized that as I was looking, I was like, I couldn't find, or I forgot to look, because I was looking at the tickets, because the tickets are through a separate website. So if you're someone who is looking at doing that, do keep in mind that those are through another website. And I was realizing that I didn't double check to see. Yeah, so these tickets are $150 per person.
Yeah.
So plus taxes and gratuities and all that kind of stuff. So thank you for the corn, Ashley.
Lem says, and he mentioned this, and I forgot to mention this too, so thanks. So yeah, Walt's special Oscar for Snow White that he got for winning Snow White is in Carthay Circle right now, which is a huge deal. That's usually housed in the Walt Disney Family Museum, and if it's an Oscar with like seven little Oscars next to it because it's the 7 dwarfs. So don't hesitate. Go see that if you love Disney history. Even if you don't, go see it anyway, just to take a peek at it because it's really special, and you only usually can see it in San Francisco. So make sure you stop in Carthay Circle to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So those winemaker receptions are one of these offerings. There's another one that is the wine, beer, and mixology education and tasting seminars. So they do have those in 3 separate categories, one for beer, one for wine, or one for mixology. These tickets are $25 per person. And those are run on just specific dates throughout. There are some dates that are sold out. There are very few that are left. So if you're someone who is either local or wanting to go, double check your dates now to make sure that you can get into those, because a lot of those dates have sold out as well. Excuse me. And again, only $25 for that one. So a little bit of a different experience with there, and more of kind of like it says, a tasting seminar and education about the different things. And then the last one is the Hotel Winemaker and Mixology Class Experience. And there are two different options that they offer under this category. The first is the Trader Sam's Tiki Mixology Seminar. And that one is after taxes and fees, it's $202 per person. So again, that's kind of on the more pricey side. But again, these are more like you're meeting directly with people from the brand, and they're showing you and giving you tastings, and it's kind of the full experience with that. And then the other one is Disney's Grand Floridian Hotel and Spa Food and Wine Experience, which has like the crazy long name. And that one is $286 per person after taxes and fees. So again, it's just those kind of more intimate settings with the people that are actually creating these products, that, teaching you about it, giving you education about all of that kind of stuff. So
it's a really fun opportunity. Yeah, it is a lot, though. I agree. People are still chatting about this. This is Shirley Temple was the one that gave Walt Disney this award. So that's a picture of her giving Walt. How cute is that? And then I have a picture of the actual award, just because people are.
I love that asking. You just have this.
It's in my albums. This is what it looked like in the museum. You can see the Oscar with all the little tiny Oscars. And Walt Disney. A little fun fact for you: Walt Disney is the person who holds the record for the most Academy Awards in history, and is not likely to be broken by anybody else anytime soon. I think it was 32 personal awards, maybe 33. Wow. And then he has like 172 for the studio, has 172 Academy Awards. So
crazy.
Not likely to be broken anytime soon.
Yeah, I would say so. So reverse back to what we were talking about. So
sorry.
Those are kind of,
I'm sorry.
You're totally
I took
fine.
us on a rabbit hole.
It's okay. It's okay. So those three experiences you do have the ability to book. Again, some of them are pricier than others depending on what you're looking for and depending on what you're wanting to spend for that. And again, like we mentioned, they do have those kind of culinary demonstrations as well. So if you're just looking to view one of those, they do have those experiences that are just free for anyone that is in the park to go and view as well. And then just briefly wanted to talk a little bit about festival merchandise. And Kate, I've got a couple photos of the merchandise in the drive if you want to see if you can find and search for those. Okay. They've got a couple things that are specific to their food and wine festival that I was able to find photos of. And then Kate's got a good hack on here that I'll let you talk about with buying merch.
I'm trying to find which one comes first. Oh, I thought you were going to list them. Okay. I can just show them.
I don't have like a list. I just pulled some photos of what they have.
So I'm like, I think this is salt and pepper shakers,
yeah,
right?
Little salt and pepper shakers. And then there's a little oven mitt back behind.
Little Mickey. And then they have, this is the, Corksicle?
Yeah. Yep. With their
food and wine Corksicle. And then we have these ears are super cute.
Yeah, the ears are great.
Hat. I feel like my girls would really love those. They're like little pink ears with all the food on them, and then they have a little chef's hat.
The little chef's hat, I think, is a fun touch. I don't know that. I mean, we don't have very many ears that have little hats in the middle like that, so I think that's fun.
I know.
So many corksicles, right, Ashley?
So some
Spirit jersey, and then I think on the shelf there they've got another corksicle tumbler, the purpley looking one as well. So if you're a merch person,
I think that's it.
Yeah, that was what I found. There may be more. It's hard to say, but those were the photos that I found online. And then Kate, do you want to talk about your hack with merchandise if you don't want to carry it around?
Yeah, you can actually leave merchandise that you have purchased at a package check at Elias & Company on Buena Vista Street for free. They have a package check there. Or you can also pay, if you want to, pay for a locker for the day. Sometimes I'll do that. If I have other stuff I want to store, like if you have some of this food that's non-perishable, obviously, that you want to store, they don't store food there. They only store merchandise you have eaten, or you have purchased, not eaten. Don't eat your merchandise.
Don't do that.
So, but that is a service that they have there. So you can do that. if you don't want to carry your festival merch around, but you want to buy stuff. So that's a good one.
Nice
to do.
So just briefly wanted to touch on Downtown Disney does have a few options for food and wine that they offer as well. So it was really hard to find photos of all of this. So I'm just going to kind of briefly give you descriptions. I think the only one that I was able to, I think there were two that I was able to find, Kate. So the first two I was not able to find photos of, just so you know, as you're looking on the drive.
Okay.
So there are 4 restaurants in Downtown Disney that do have inspired menu items for food and wine. The first being the Naples Ristorante, a bar, food and wine festival offering, which is the Pizza Caprina, which is a white pizza without sauce with fresh mozzarella, bruschetta tomato mix, and topped with fresh arugula and goat cheese. So that is a festival offering that they have there. Again, I'm just going to briefly mention these. I also couldn't find prices for any of these online either, which was a little frustrating. So
yeah, that is weird.
I don't know if, I don't know. Who knows why? And then the Ballast Point Brewing Company has 2 different food offerings throughout the festival. The first one for March is the Tomato and Burrata, which is a California-grown heirloom cherry tomato, California burrata, parsley, garlic, shallots, red wine vinegar, and olive oil in that one.
That sounds good.
And then come April, they're offering switches to a coconut curry shrimp, which is marinated.
Is that what this is?
No, that one is the next one. I know. Sneak peek. So the coconut curry shrimp is marinated shrimp served on white rice with curry broth and nori leaf with it. So those offerings are at the Ballast Point Brewing Company. Again, the first one was for March. The second one was for April. The next one is out at Ralph Brennan's Jazz. What just happened?
I got so excited my Apple Pencil fell out. That's fine.
Okay. Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen Food and Wine Festival offerings is this barbecue shrimp and grits. So it is Gulf shrimp simmered in a New Orleans barbecue sauce with quotes with roasted garlic, lemon, Worcestershire, Creole seasoning served over andouille sausage and Parmesan.
Worcestershire? Worcestershire.
Listen. It is what it is, okay? Y'all knew what I meant, and that's all that matters.
No, it's okay. Sorry, I just didn't laugh. I'm done.
Do you want to read the rest of this, Kate?
No, I really don't. You're doing great. Keep going. To be fair, you've had to pronounce a lot of very strange things tonight. So
I have.
You get credit.
Listen, I don't even know that I have any clue how that word is actually supposed to be said.
We need Dean here. Worcestershire, I think, is how it's supposed to be said. But I don't know.
Sure. Ashley says, stop making fun of Jackie. No one knows how to say that word.
It's true.
Yep.
I thought you were making a joke, though, saying it that way. And then
I just legitimately don't know how to say it, so I just read it as it looked.
Okay. I'm not making fun of Jackie. I love Jackie,
no,
and she's doing a great job. I was just like taken off guard for a second. We need Dean here to like tell us how to say that word.
I know. I don't. Because I got nothing.
Or Worcestershire.
See, that was the alternative. So it's good. It's fine. Like I said, y'all knew what I meant, and that's really all that matters. So
yeah, it's true. 100%. A for effort, Jackie.
Now I got to get through this last one too. Okay, so the last offering is at the Splitsville, which I didn't realize they had a Splitsville at Disneyland too, which is fun because I know they've got one at Disney World. So at the Splitsville Luxury Lanes Food and Wine Festival offering, they have grilled ahi and avocado, which I also found out is a normal offering that they have on the Disney World menu. Which I thought was interesting. So it is seared and buttery ahi tuna tossed in kimchi ponzu and stuffed into a grilled avocado. It is plated with sushi rice and drizzled with kimchi ponzu and spicy mayo, garnished with sesame seeds and wonton chips. Finish the plate.
You pronounced that very well. Good job.
Yay. So that is the offering at Splitsville for during the Food and Wine Festival. And again, if that looks like something that you'd like, you can get it at Walt Disney World as well. So Fun fact.
There's not many of those things, so
yeah. I know, which was really interesting because I think even that photo technically was from Walt Disney World because I couldn't find any that specifically said Disneyland Splitsville. So
gotcha. Okay.
So we take what we can get. So
Absolutely.
a couple other things at the downtown Disney area. They do have a daily family craft that they do offered from 12 to 6. Which that was literally the only information I could find out about it. So I'm not sure exactly what that entails or where it is or any of that kind of stuff. But
so if it's what I'm thinking of, it is, I think it's kind of near the Lego store, but it's like way on the end opposite of the parks from it. So closer to the Disneyland Hotel, and they just have a couple tables set up, usually with a craft or some coloring stuff. So it's just a few tables full of things. So if you're looking for something to do with your kids and it's a non-park day for you while you're there, it's a fun little activity.
Yeah. Oh, Lem says it was like a chef hat scavenger hunt thing.
That must be a different thing. If you're thinking about downtown Disney, the family craft is usually just these crafting tables, but maybe.
But maybe they also had a scavenger hunt. He said a scavenger hunt with stickers, ? He said. I'm not sure, Lem. I didn't find anything about that specifically. Maybe they put a scavenger hunt there this year.
You got to go hunt for the scavenger hunt.
Go hunt and figure out. He said it was across from the Lego store.
Okay.
So, could be.
I'll take a look when I go in April and report back. That's interesting.
Yeah, there we go. They also have festival-specific sketch art at the Wonderground Gallery, as well as artist showcase and signing at that gallery as well, which the signings take place Saturdays and Sundays during the festival from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. So similar to when you see that kind of at Festival of the Arts and Epcot, they do have the artists that come and do signings at the gallery there. And then the other thing that they have is these perfect pairing events, which you can experience a symphony of flavors at these enticing culinary events, exploring sublime menu pairings at participating Friends of the Festival locations. So there are 2 locations that do these. The first is a Sips and Salsa at Tortilla Joe's, which is March 9th, March 24th, and April 1st. And then Pizza and Pinot at the Naples Ristorante, which we talked about previously, which was March 5th and then March 29th and April 19th. And it's basically just a special pairing that they have for that event for food and wine.
I love that. That's so fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ashley said they had a ton of artist signings outside the Disney store, which I think is the same thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sounds like it. Yeah, that's the Wonderground Gallery. So I don't know if that's close to their...
I literally don't know what that is. I would have to look it up. I've never heard of that in my
just
whole
going
life.
on the information that was on
so
the
everybody's
website.
like, where is that? I don't know. But I also don't spend a ton of time in downtown Disney, to be fair. I only go there when I need to eat something. So
let me see if I can find it.
Well, while you're looking for that, I'll show everybody how I got to hold an actual Oscar. Ta-da!
Kate's still on the Oscars over here.
On my Disney Studios tour, it's an actual Oscar that Disney won, and they let you hold it. And it's really heavy. Who knew how heavy Oscars are? They're very, very heavy. But look, even Walt's with me. He's right over there. Anyway, sorry.
Okay,
it's neither
so
here nor there.
this is... Oh, my map is not going to let me zoom in. Here we go. Okay, it is... Maybe. Where did it just go? Why did it disappear when I zoomed in? Uh-oh. There it is. Okay. It is, there's a, see, and I don't know my downtown Disney enough. It is on the one end near, there's like across the, like, so Star Wars Trading Post, and then if you go like around the corner, there's a big building next to it on the way towards the, Disneyland Hotel. So it's between the Star Wars Trading Post and the Disneyland Hotel.
Okay. Yeah. So it's on the end, the very end, kind of near where I said all the craft stuff was happening. So, and that's kind of near the monorail line as well, where you get
and
on
and I see the Lego store is not too far down, kind of the way from there.
I have not talked about my studio tour yet, Bethy. So I we'll talk about that. I just have not figured out a day to do it. I might end up talking about it while I'm at Disney World. I've just been really busy finishing my audiobook and getting my other manuscript done for my next book, and my whole life has been taken up by that. So one thing at a time.
Yay! But that's
But you haven't missed it.
If
you haven't missed it.
And it's all exciting. All exciting, happy things.
Yes.
Ashley said it didn't have a sign for the name of the show. It just said Disney Plus on the store, on the building. Huh. By the main gate of downtown Disney. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I think I know where that is. It has a whole bunch of posters, I think, of like Pixar and stuff up on the sides, if I'm thinking of the right building. So.
now Lemuel is saying it has a sign. Ashley just didn't see it. Stop fighting in the chat.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think that was all of our things, right?
Yeah.
We made it. We did. There's always so much more going on at these festivals than I even know. Like, I always think it's like, oh, it's just the food booths, because that's what you think of. And maybe the music, because you kind of see that. Maybe special events here or there. But there's like all the stuff that's up. And I love getting to hear all of this, because it's like, oh, I'd never tried that before. I didn't even know they did that. And so I love doing these episodes for that reason.
Yeah. Well, and that was kind of why we initially started this. I texted Kate and was like, I don't know anything about Disneyland Food and Wine. Like, is there enough to do a full show? And she's like, yeah, I think so. I was like, okay, well, let's go for it. An hour and a half later, here we are.
Here we are. Well, and is it next week that we're going to be doing Epcot?
Yeah. So we're jumping from festival to festival. And next week, Kate will be on location at Flower and Garden in Epcot, which we need to talk about what time we're going to do next week.
Yeah, we haven't figured that out.
We got to figure that out. So stay tuned. We will be doing a different time. Most likely will be earlier, like we did when we did Festival of the Arts. That way Kate will be able to show us around, and we'll check out some of the booths and offerings and everything over there. And we'll hopefully not make Kate run ragged around the entire
You
World
pretty much
Showcase.
have to go around the World Showcase to like do everything. So it's fine. I will.
Yeah.
I'll be great. It'll be great.
Yes.
It'll be
yes.
fun.
We'll make it work.
I'll eat something. It'll be
yes.
good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So next week we'll be at Flower and Garden at Epcot. So stay tuned for that. And we will be posting in Discord kind of once we figure out what time we're going to be doing for that. So if you are not part of the Walrus, Carp, and Pocket Fam Discord, be sure to check the link in whoever's bio for whichever side you're on to join that. We've got a whole Mom Street channel on there where we post information, and Kate's got a whole section so she can post all about her wonderful things that she was just talking about with her books and all sorts of other wonderful things in her channels. So yeah, stay tuned there, and we'll let you guys know kind of what time we end up doing next Thursday for Flower and Garden.
Yeah, and a little quick note to my subscribers as well. I do till the end of the month. You get 20% off any single item in my store on DisneySisterOwn.com, and also free shipping. So the code is in your subscriber notes. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure you hop over there and get it and grab it before the end of the month.
You could get yourself a Free the Pirates shirt, like the one I'm
Free
wearing.
the Pirate shirt.
It's probably one of my favorite shirts that I have in my closet, and I wear it constantly.
Oh, I love that.
And my daughter, every time, she's like, look, it's the pirate dog. Every time. She loves it.
Oh, yay. I'm so glad you like it.
Kate's got all sorts of other really great shirts and merch, as well as our Mom Street merch is in there.
Oh, yeah, our Mom Street. I don't know if I can have a sticker. I don't think I have a shirt here.
I know, and I forgot my sticker. Tonight it's upstairs. Oh, yes, Kristen says she got the Tiki shirt from your...
Oh, yeah.
Too. Yes, so there's our Mom Street. We've got stickers, and we've got other merch on there. We've got T-shirts and long sleeve and sweatshirts and hats and all sorts of fun things in there with our logo. So by supporting us, you are able to help us be able to provide other giveaways for you guys. All of the money that we get from goals on the live and, gift goals and through all of that goes straight to our giveaways. So we just did one a couple weeks ago, and I'm sure there will be more to come. We just have to decide when and where and what.
What we're going to give away. Yeah.
Yes.
And
so looking ahead as well, I had posted a little bit in our Discord about We are working on kind of planning out weeks at a time. So if you guys have topics that you really want to hear about, or something that can be very helpful to you if you're planning a trip coming up for the spring, summer, fall, whenever it may be, post in our Discord. We're happy to look at your suggestions. We've got a couple really great suggestions that are on there that we're going to add into what we're doing. But looking ahead, like I said, we're doing Flower and Garden next week. The week after that, Kate will be en route home. So I am working on something very special for that episode, which I think is going to be a super fun, something completely different episode. So stay tuned for that. And then after that, we're looking for kind of to fill in a little bit what you guys are wanting. So drop those ideas to us so that way we can help. You know, we're here to help you guys plan your trips and to give you information that will help make your trips run more smoothly. So we definitely want to hit whatever topics you guys are needing information on.
Yeah, and if you ever need extra help planning your trip, Jackie is like the queen of all things Disney planning. She knows what she's doing, especially with Disney World. She can get you the information you need. She can help you plan stuff. She is brilliant at all of that. So you can reach out to her through our Mom Street email, then she can get you what you need. But so that is just. I've just met so many people recently that felt really overwhelmed planning Disney World trips, and I keep sending them your way because I was just like, I love all of my friends and family that are asking me questions about planning, but I have no time. I'm like literally drowning in projects. So I'm like, Jackie can help you look over here.
Yes, absolutely. I am more than happy to help. So if you guys have questions, find me on Discord, TikTok, Instagram. Help me out with, or I can help you out. You can find me on the Mom Street channels too. However, you will reach me. I promise I will get your message if you reach out to me. So I've got some Pocket Fam that I'm helping right now that are getting ready to go to the parks here in the next month or so. So I'm more than happy to help. It brings me so much joy helping you guys. And that's part of why Kate and I started this show, was that we want to be here to help and to make your trips easy and make you not stress out about going. So that's what we're here for.
Yeah. And Jackie's you're just such a wonderful person too. Well, not just like a great planner, but just like a wonderful human being. And you're so kind and take care of so many people. And I think that you're just so well suited to helping people plan. So I'm going to make sure people know that you are available for that if they like need something beyond, the regular thing. So,
well, I appreciate you. And I'll hype you up. Make sure you guys tune into Distery tomorrow night with Kate and Kirk. They are in the midst of a Jungle Cruise series. So be sure to check that out tomorrow night at 8:30 Eastern or 5:30 Pacific on Kate's channel or on Kirk's channel at Walrus Carp. So that way you can hear what they're up to. What's the topic this week?
Oh, this one's great because we are doing the Jungle Cruise skit, like jokes and script throughout history.
Oh, so I love that.
From 1950s all the way through today. And
Amazing.
You get to kind of compare and see it evolve. And also it'll just be funny because some of the jokes they don't have anymore are also hilarious. So it's going to be a really fun Skipper joke episode. Yeah, Perfect. You won't want to miss that one.
Yes.
And I did mention earlier that I was working on my audiobook. If any of you didn't hear what that was or don't know what that is, it's this book, but in audio form. So this is A Glimpse of the Magic, Finding Ourselves in the Disney Story, which is the book that I did write. My first book. And this is available on Amazon and Apple Books and a whole bunch of other places, but there's a link in my bio or at DisneyCicerone.com. But it's currently like waiting for approval for my audiobook. So it's finished, it's submitted, Yay. It's waiting for approval. So as soon as it goes on sale, I will let you guys know. I'll post in the Discord and everywhere else. So yeah.
I cannot wait because I feel like as I read your book, I already heard it in my head in your voice. So now I'm super excited to like just be able to plug my AirPods in and listen to Kate talk about Disney and encouragement. And I'm going to cry all over again. It's going to be great.
Little ASMR Disney.
I know.
I'll read you to sleep apparently because that's what people wanted. So little nighttime story. Yes. It'll be great. So
yes, it's going to be perfect. Absolutely. Yeah. So much fun. And if you have missed anything that we talked about, or for that matter, anything that Kate and Kirk have talked about on Distery, be sure to check out the links in bios for all of that good stuff, because a lot of that is all available via podcast form, wherever you get your podcasts, and also on YouTube channels, on the Mom Street YouTube channel for our show over here, and then on Kirk's YouTube channel for Distery. Make sure that you guys check all of that out. We love the cross promotion between everything. Check it all out.
Yes. We're all a big team, really. So it's great.
We truly are.
We are.
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone over here is excited for your book.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
For your audiobook.
My audiobook. I know. And then my next book I'm really excited for that. It's probably going to come your way, Jackie, in the next weekish. So,
ooh, okay. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah. And Elliot read it, and it's funny because Elliot doesn't read romantic suspense at all. So it was really funny to hear his comments.
I love it.
Like, okay. So, anyway, so it'll be great.
Excited.
Yeah. I am excited to see all of you guys back here obviously for Distery, but also for Mom Street USA next week from the parks. And I'll bring my gimbal so it won't be too bumpy for y'all. But yeah, it'll be fun.
Yes, and I will be sure to, like I said, plan out the appropriate path so that you're not running back and forth all the way across.
I always appreciate
Epcot.
that.
I will do my best. I will do my best. Well, thank you guys, as always, for joining us and being here and being part of our community and Pocket Fam. And we feel the love through our chat, and we just appreciate your guys' support so much.
Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you guys being here, and really the show, like we said, it's all about you guys and what you need, and we love incorporating your comments and thoughts and suggestions into this. This is a show for all of us. It's not just me and Jackie. So we are the Mom Street community, and we really appreciate you guys being part of it. So
yeah. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.